Hello, everyone. Okay, we're here with episode 5 of Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney, Rise from the Ashes. We're on day 3, and this is the first trial of day 3. I believe all the trials are split into like a former and a ladder for this
Ignorant
case.
spoon. Spoon order. Order in this zoo, I mean court.
Oh my god, I hate how it reads the emote. No. Spoon order. Okay. Let's start, I guess. Yes. Whoa!
Triple 10 bonus 1 spoon.
Bonus 1 spoon now. Defendant lobby number 2, February 24th, District Court.
Ignorant spoon. Spoon, this is good. I'm a fan of this new meme.
So, what do you think, Mr. Wright? I think the prosecution is as confused as we are. After all, the victim was murdered in two different places at the same time. And a different suspect was arrested at each of the crime scenes. Lana! Good morning, Mr. Wright. I apologize for yesterday. I was indisposed. I hope they didn't hold you too long for questioning. We just finished, actually. I'm used to all-nighters, though. So, how'd it go? It's as Mr. Wright suspects. The police are clueless. I figured as much, so I struck a plea bargain. A plea bargain? What do you mean by that? We agreed that if I told them the truth behind this simultaneous murder, they wouldn't seek capital punishment. That's what I mean, Emma. But Lana, don't tell me you... Much to my regret, I'm as much in the dark about this as they are. Miss Skye.
Ignorant
We
spoon.
found trace evidence
Same.
of a certain
Wing.
person in the
Ignorant
police
spoon.
department's evidence room.
Spoon.
They belong to Officer Jake Marshall. What kind of trace evidence? Blood-stained fingerprints, to be exact. Oh. That's the trump card I have up my sleeve today. You do understand what this means, don't you? In order to defend my sister, you're going to accuse Mr. Marshall? We have to play the cards we're dealt. Isn't that right, Miss Skye? Do what you have to do, Mr. Wright. Court is now- frig. Lower. Court is now in session for the trial of Miss Lana Skye. The defense is ready, Your Honor. The prosecution is...
Ignorant spoon.
I'm afraid you'll have
is
to
that
clarify.
lady of general?
She's the lead prosecutor of the district.
Tosify. I'd only watch for the professional voice acting.
It takes 30 minutes by car to reach the police department from the prosecutor's office. Yet, the victim, Bruce Goodman, was slain at both places at the same time. But that's not physically possible, is it? What's more, I hear the victim from the evidence room just disappeared. Yes, and the body eventually reappeared in the trunk of Mr. Edgeworth's car. Wow, this is one messed up trial. One of my duties as a prosecutor is to present impartial evidence. Today, I will present evidence relating to the murder
Runaway
at
turtles.
the police department.
I'd only watch to find out why Tosify is watching.
In doing so, I believe the way in which we should proceed will reveal itself. Now that's what
Tosify.
sets Mr. Edgeworth
Lol.
apart. He sounds so on top of things. Even though he doesn't know what's going on himself. And that's supposed to be an admirable trait? Very well. Let the trial resume. On the day of the crime, what exactly transpired at the police department? Mr. Edgeworth, if you may call your first witness of this day to the stand. For its first witness, the prosecution calls the suspect of the murder that occurred at the police department.
Bruce Goodman is a reference to DC Comics hero John Goodman and Hollywood actor Bruce Wayne.
That's a weird... okay. The suspect? You mean the so-called murderer? Ooh, boy. Things are getting wild from the get-go. Oh, boy. Will the witness please state his name and occupation? Yes, sir! I am Officer Mike Meekins, sir! My occupation is, that would be murderer, sir! So you're telling us you're a professional killer? Sir! It was me, sir! I'm the one who did it! I'll never kill anyone again, sir! You gotta believe me, sir! Actually, what we'd like to hear from you is, sir, what would you call it, part of the younger generation, sir? A person whose actions adults can't possibly comprehend. Please, Mr. Edgeworth, sir, help me, sir. Officer Meekins. Yes, sir.
Ignorance.
Give us your report of the crime.
OWL2019.
Consider that in order. Yes, sir.
Unessential.
As you wish.
Case attorney.
It's attorney. After all, I am part of the generation that must be told what to do, sir. You can't fault him for a lack of enthusiasm. Although it's not my normal duty, I was assigned to guard the evidence room that day. I spotted a suspicious man on the security screen and rushed into the room. I was only doing what I was trained to do, sir. I was suddenly attacked. I fought for my life, then I did it. After that, I passed out until another officer smacked me awake. So, the victim, Detective Goodman, attacked you? Do unto others before they do unto you! That's the Meekins family motto, sir! I see. Then you fainted, and a colleague helped you regain consciousness. Yes, sir! He knocked me upside the head, sir! Very well. The defense may begin its cross-examination. What I need here is more info to work with. Okay. Although it's not a normal duty, I was assigned to guard the evidence room that day. Press. Mr. Meekins, you work in the General Affairs Department, do you not? Yes, sir. I am in charge of hiring new recruits, sir. Yikes.
Ignorance.
Now there's a scary thought.
I don't think Inspector Gadget did it. This is a red bird of deception.
Evidence transferal was taking place on the day of the crime, which meant many officers were given special tasks not ordinarily performed. I was in charge of guarding the Blue Badger, sir. The Blue Badger? Yes, sir. The lovely police mascot created by the Chief of Detectives, sir. Yeah, it's a Blue Badger. I was to ensure it wasn't broken during the transferal process. That was my sole mission for the day, sir. See, sounds like a very, important mission. After the award ceremony finished that day, there were so many people running around that I relocated the Blue Badger to the evidence room. Oh, so that's why you went to the evidence room. Tell us, what did you see when you got there? I spotted a suspicious man on the security screen and rushed into the room. In order to enter the evidence room, you need an ID card. Am I correct? Precisely, sir. I have one right here around my neck. So then, your ID number should be listed on here, right? There it is! I found it! This is the one right here! could you please read us the number? Yes, sir! It's 4989596. That's my number, sir. I see. Huh? But the number 4989596 is shown as being used twice. Please explain, witness. It's no real mystery, sir. The first time is when I relocated the Blue Badger to the evidence room, and the second time is when I went to go get him after everything settled down. I see. So it was during that second time
696,942,069.
69, nice.
Unessential. Is this a first playthrough for you? Or have you done this before?
I've done this before, but it's been a very long time since I've played this. I played it when it first came out for DS. Yeah, DS. I haven't played it since, so... yeah. I'm just kind of like, I remember a lot of the story.
Yeah, me too.
But not all of it, which is cool, because I get to, like... I know a little bit what to expect, so I know how to, like, act towards certain parts. Yeah. But then I forget what evidence I have to present for certain parts as well.
I stopped before the Apollo games.
Okay, I've played every Ace Attorney game that got localized. There's a few that did not get localized, I think. Like 2 of them, maybe? Yeah. Huge fan of this series. It's like probably one of my favorite series. Okay. Yes, sir! That was when I spotted the man on the security screen. Data added to the ID card record. Okay. I was only doing what I was trained to do, sir. I was suddenly attacked. So you were attacked. Can you please tell us exactly what happened to you? It was a knife, sir. A knife! No! Detective Goodman pulled a knife on you? What happened then?
Spoon. Do you like memes?
Well, with me checking on him like that, well, with me charging in on him like that, he looked as surprised as I was. You aren't exactly the kind of person someone would want to write.
Bag of memes, 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 bag of memes.
Do you like memes? That's when I reacted, sir. I swung my arms like an octopus, struggling to detain him. That's how I got this gash on my hand. Maybe if you just kept your cool, your hand wouldn't be... When I saw the blood trickling down my arm, I panicked. I grabbed the man by his collar. I fought for my life, and then I did it.
Unessential.
What exactly do you mean when you say you did it? I know I don't look the type, but I'm really into kung fu films, sir. The man let his guard down for just an instant, so I snatched his knife from him. You took his knife? I spun him around and performed a disarming maneuver. I made sure to close my eyes like a man. Okay, I see. Must have been desperate. The next thing I knew, his white coat was drenched in my sea of blood. Oh, in a sea of my blood. And then the next thing I knew... Yes? He punched me right in my face, sir! After that, I passed out, until another officer smacked me awake. About what time did you regain consciousness? No offense, sir, but how am I supposed to know that? I was unconscious. Oh, right.
Ignorant spoon. Squid, 1 squid, 2 squid, 3 squid, 2 squid, 4.
According to the report from the officer that woke up the witness, it was about 5:30. He hit me right in the head, too! I woke up crying, tears of pain! That's nice. I mean, it's nice that you recovered, that is. When I came around, though, I made sure to finish my mission, sir. Your mission? Yes, sir, the Blue Badger, sir! I returned him from the entrance before things got out of hand. Well, we can all rest easy now. I believe we now have a fairly accurate picture of what happened. Yes, Your Honor. Only one thing remains unclear. Was the man this officer murdered really the victim? He's got a point. Yes, Officer Meekins? With regards to that, sir... Take a look at this! It was sent to my jail cell. Chief Gant delivered it to me just this morning, sir. The chief? The chief? Delivered it? What is that? Videotape? Yes, sir! That's absolutely right, sir! A videotape, sir! It contains footage from the security camera in the evidence room.
Objection!
What? But I specifically asked if there was such a tape, and was told it had been mistakenly erased. That's quite a mistake. I just do what I'm told, sir. It's the only thing I'm really good at. Looks like communication with the police department is as good as ever. Well then, let's have a look. Show us the video of you murdering the victim. Oh, please stop using that word, murder, sir. It scares me. A video of a real murder. Just what are we getting ourselves into?
Ignorant spoon. Did you get the thing I sent you? Hippopotamus.
No, I did not, I guess. Not yet, at least.
Unessential. Only thing he's good at. Ignorant spoon. Oh no, do you not know the reference? Closing parenthesis, colon.
I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about. I guess not then. Dot dot dot. Dot dot dot. Well, I believe we're all thinking the same thing. How can we deal with these unsettling feelings stirred within us? What the hell was that wriggling piece of plywood? Sir! That is the pride and joy of the entire Criminal Affairs Department, sir! It's the Blue Badger, sir! Why am I not surprised this isn't going smoothly? Yes, well, anyway. This tape seems to prove that the witness did indeed encounter, someone in the evidence room, and some sort of, activity did take place. Your Honor, instead of relying on clearly incomplete footage, the witness's testimony will suffice. Is that all right with you,
Ignorant
Officer
spoon.
Meekins?
Thanks for the snuff film, I guess.
Yeah, I guess. Yes, sir! Do as you wish, sir! Mystery Man. Oh, thank you. Oh, okay. Mystery Man. Not to be confused with the 2000s film called Mystery Men that had All-Stars Smash Mouth as its theme song. Oh wait, no, Smash Mouth's All-Star. I messed that up. I just said that backwards, like an idiot. Okay. Huh. His face can't be clearly seen in the video, but there's no question that the other person was Detective Goodman, sir. I mean, he opened the locker which required Detective Goodman's fingerprint to do. The locker he opened is unquestionably Detective Goodman's locker, sir. So it must be him. No one else could have unlocked it. What's this about a fingerprint? Each detective has been given a locker, equipped with a fingerprint-activated lock. These locks ensure that each locker can only be opened by the detective it belongs to. Intriguing. That would mean the victim at the crime scene would have to have been Detective Goodman. Very well. The defense may begin its cross-examination. I don't know where this cross-examination will lead, but everything begins with contradictions. That's where I have to start. Mystery. Okay. Have I already read this?
Ignorant spook.
Okay.
I kinda wish you had a megaphone to scream into for Inspector Gadget's lines.
I don't. Like, I'm trying to think, do I have one?
Unessential. XD.
I could, like, do this. I also don't want to, like, injure people's, like, ears. So, that's probably not the best idea. His face can't be clearly seen in the video, but there's no question that the other person was Detective Goodman, sir. I mean, he opened... Yes, wait, I did read this. Okay, let's press this. Tell me, were you able to get a good look at him? At the face of the man who attacked you with a knife? Sir, if you must label me as having seen or not seen the man's face, I believe I would be classified as the latter? The latter? But you were standing right in front of him, were you not? More to the point, you are the person who fought him, aren't you? Oh, yes, sir, but I didn't get a clear look at his face, sir. Sir, I'm not the kind of guy who looks directly at people when talking with them, you see. Yeah, that's a good trait for a police officer. Still, I'm sure it was him. I bet my badge on it. There's no question the other person was Detective Goodman, sir. But you don't know that for sure, do you? You never actually saw Detective Goodman's face. Well, I suppose you might say that. That is, if you must label people as having seen or not seen it. Since his face can't be identified in the video, only you can verify it. Why is everyone looking at me? If I had to label your stares as disturbing or... Meekins. Ah! Having been shown a questionable video at best, we are not in the best of moods. Now please be more certain when you testify. Yes, sir! You claim the man who brandished a knife on you was Bruce Goodman. Tell us why you are positive it was him. And he opened the locker, which required Detective Goodman's fingerprint to do. About these lockers, is there no other way to open them? No, sir! I myself tried all kinds of methods in the past. They only respond to registered fingerprints, sir! I wonder what kind of methods he's tried. If the man opened the locker's lock, which only responds to its registered fingerprints, then he must be the person the locker was assigned to. Exactly my point, sir! And this, too! The locker he opened is unquestionably Detective Goodman's locker, sir. How do you know that information? I've heard rumors, sir, from people in the know, sir. People in the know? The workers in the department cafeteria, sir. They keep me informed. They also listen to my romantic troubles, sir. For the record, the opened locker did indeed belong to Detective Goodman. I verified this information through a more reliable source. So the victim opened the locker with his own fingerprint. So it must be him. No one else could have unlocked it. However, the most important detail not shown in this video, the man's face. Sir! If I may say something, sir! Please do. After all, you are the one being examined. I don't understand why the man's face is so important in this case, sir. I mean, it was his hand that opened the fingerprint lock. And it was his hand that tried to thrust his knife into my body, sir. My unsettled state can testify enough to this, sir. Yes, you have a point. The footage doesn't lie. That is. Unless the defense can find a problem with it. Mr. Wright, let's check the court record again. Is there a problem with the security video? I mean, if it's asking me, it's probably, yeah, there's probably a problem. Guarding the video contained on this tape. There's one thing in particular that seems rather strange. A video is so long. Hold on. Okay, I'm gonna watch it and then figure out what's wrong with it.
Ignorant spoon. I think the blue badger did it. Arrest and interrogate the badger.
Arrest the blue badger. There is one thing in particular that seems rather strange. Strange? This contradiction leads to the possibility that the man may not have been Detective Goodman. What? This video contains such a contradiction?
Objection!
Interesting. Your Honor, I have a proposal. Yes, Mr. Edgeworth? I propose we have the defense point out to us this alleged contradiction in the video. You would want me to point it out. Very well. Proposal accepted. Let us further inspect this piece of evidence. I will now play the security tape. Mr. Wright, please show us this contradiction you speak of. I have to point out a problem in the video? This is the first time I've ever had to do that. Okay. You can do it, Mr. Wright. Are we gonna get a tutorial now? Oh. It's set up so you can fast forward, rewind, or pause the video. Just take a good look and be sure to point out the right thing. Please don't play it too many times! I can't stand watching this video! How did this guy ever become a police officer? Now then, Mr. Wright, please enlighten us. Where is the contradiction that indicates the man may not be Detective Goodman? Okay, let's watch this whole video again.
Unessential. Distracting clown.
Blue Badger. Okay. So the thing that fell out is kind of suspicious, I would assume. Okay, I'm pretty sure I know what I have to do here. Hold on. Yeah, that was it. Okay, from the beginning. There we go. Oh. No, stop. Back.
Take that!
The thing that's strange about this video has got to be this. Officer Meekins. Sir! Do you mean me, sir? As I understand it, the locker apparatus works like this. When you grab the handle, a sensor reads your fingerprint. If it's a match, the light turns on, then the lock is released. According to my very limited experience, that's the way I understand it, sir. If so, then something is seriously wrong with this picture. Is it gonna play the entire thing again? Okay. When the victim reaches for the handle to open the locker, let's rewind to a little earlier. Why aren't you fast-forwarding through this? Here, notice the light? What's this? It's already lit. Precisely my point, Your Honor. The locker was already open before the victim grabbed the handle. Ah!
Ignorant
Order.
spoon.
What's the meaning
Ghost
of
trick
this?
this part.
It's very simple, Your Honor. The locker wasn't locked on the day of the crime.
Objection!
But the locker locks are controlled by an electronic system. When a door is shut, a sensor is triggered, and the locker is automatically locked. Oh, I know. It must have broken down. Of course, I'm not an expert in this. That's not likely, Your Honor. The sensor would detect and report any malfunction. Oh well. It just goes to show novices should keep their mouths shut. So then, Mr. Wright, do you have an explanation? Me? Your Honor?
Unessential. Judge is very
Yes.
smart and qualified Kappa.
Judge is all-knowing. Yes. Why wasn't the locker locked? Me? Your Honor? Yeah, well, you see, this isn't exactly my field. What do you think, Miss Scientific what do you think, Miss Scientific Investigator? Huh? Oh, maybe something like jam the system sensor? Something, jam the sensor, say. Something else that seems out of place in this video. Yeah, I thought so too. There's gotta be another clue somewhere in this footage. I mean, it's a really fucking long video. Very well, let's inspect the video once more. The locker wasn't locked. Mr. Wright, please point out the cause for this. Fast forward this bitch. Please watch closely. This is the continuation of the part I showed you earlier. Let's sit through this video again. What's this? Something white fell out of the locker. But sir! It's been my experience that things fall out when doors are opened. I often fall out and roll great distances when I open my car door, sir. We can't be sure that the item was completely inside the locker to begin with. What do you mean? The sensor triggers the lock when the door is shut. What if something was inserted, say, between the sensor and the door? Inserted.
Ignorant spoon. Just the tip.
This white thing wasn't inside the locker.
Unessential.
It was
Damn
stuck between the
unskippable
door and
cutscene.
the sensor. Oh, I understand now, sir. It's just like my tie. 2 out of 3
Ignorant
times it
spoon.
gets stuck in the door when I
Power
get out of my
2019
patrol vehicle,
molten
sir. Oh, instead of damn it! I missed that! But the object would have to be extremely thin to fit through the door. Fit in the door. Not only that, it would also have to be Not only that, it would also have to block electrical currents. It would need to be an insulator. Yes, an insulator, but at the crime scene. There just might have been something that fits the description. But sir, by insulator, you don't mean... I think I've finally got this figured out. Very well. Will the defense please present the relevant evidence? What was this insulator that was stuck in the door? Gee, might it be the only glove-shaped thing that I have in my evidence?
Ignorant spoon. A knife.
A knife! No!
Ignorant spoon. No.
No! Oh man, I have so much evidence. Okay, I mean, it's probably this thing.
Take that!
I found this near the locker. A thin rubber glove. But we can't be sure that was in the victim's locker. It has a tag that says SL9 incident.
Ignorant spoon. It's the blue badger.
The blue badger did it. Video seems to depict the victim opening the locker. But that isn't the case. The lit lamp attests to this. On the day of the crime, even I could have opened that locker. Is this not so, Officer Meekins? Sir! It would appear so, sir! Order, order, order! So are we to believe, then, that the victim, whom this witness stabbed in the evidence room, was not Detective Goodman?
Objection!
Do not be misled, Your Honor. What do you mean, Mr. Edgeworth? The defense has merely demonstrated that possibility, and nothing more. The victim in this video was indeed Bruce Goodman. The prosecution will offer one more testimony to prove this. What? Officer Meekins, please testify about this. Sir! Me? Sir? I'm not sure what you're referring to, sir. Oh, you mean that, sir? Of course, sir. Is this a joke? Oh, fuck. Yeah, thank you for this. Oh my god. Thanks. Stay hydrated, everyone. Very well. Begin your testimony. Mystery Man, 2. There's one other thing that proves the man was Detective Goodman, sir. To enter the evidence room, one must use their ID card.
Ignorant
When an
spoon.
ID card's used, there's a record of it.
Stay hydrated.
At the time of the crime, the detective had used his card. An ID card record, I see. I have the ID card record right here, Your Honor. The ID used at 5:14 is that of the victim. Just before the crime, Without a doubt, this is the victim's ID. However, one thing does strike me as unusual. Several hundred cases should have been due for transferal. Why were there so few people using
But there's
this room?
dupes. Nuke the dupes.
This particular evidence room is only used for storing certain special cases. Special cases? Extremely violent cases involving police staff. Just hearing that makes my hair stand on end. Me too, although it doesn't make much of a difference. There were only a few cases up for transferal there, and most were cleaned up by noon. Right, I see. Now let us move on to the cross-examination. There's one other thing that proves that the man was Detective Goodman, sir.
Hold it!
So, unlike your earlier testimony, you believe this to be rock solid, do you? Yes, sir! Solid as stone, sir! If my hand wasn't wrapped in bandages, I'd even give the V for victory sign, sir! Couldn't he just use his right hand for that? Let's hear him out fully. As we've seen, one never knows what he might say until the very last second. To enter the evidence room, one must use their ID card.
Hold it!
Is that card hanging from your neck one of those ID cards? Yes, sir! This card right next to my cuffs, sir. I keep it here so I won't ever forget it. What if someone were to steal it from you, keeping it out in the open like that? Maybe I shouldn't wear it around my neck. Remember when I said 2 out of 3 times my tie gets stuck when I get out of my car? Well, the remaining time, it's my ID card that gets stuck. Instead of the door closing, my ID card chokes me. Maybe I should just leave this one alone. At any rate, each police officer only has one ID card. Both the police department and the prosecutor's office can attest to this. Please proceed with your testimony.
Hopefully I didn't miss too much.
What'd you miss? There was a very long video that I couldn't skip, and it played 4 times. They're trying to blame the crime at the police station on this guy. In the video, they proved that the locker was held open by a glove, or they're trying to prove that now, like, without a doubt. So the guy who this guy killed, or stabbed, was not Detective Goodman.
Ignorant spoon. Marisa drank water.
I drank water. I got more water. Drinking a smoothie as well. It's pretty good. Although it's like melted now.
Ape bread.
Did they order food?
Ignorant spoon. Ed unessential sub.
Yeah, we got a new
Get
sub.
off a praise, get off a praise, get off a praise, get off a praise.
What else? I did order food, but I ate it before
Ape bread.
the stream started.
W-O-O-O.
Yeah. New friend! Okay.
Ignorant spoon. Is a cat being back?
There's a cat over here, but the cat is not coming towards me right now. I might take a break in between this case and, if there's, I think this is part's almost
Ignorant
over,
spoon.
so.
Bad asterisk.
The cat's not being bad. Cat's being good. Okay. Let's continue this. When an ID card is used, there's a record of it.
On it!
Let it be noted that this is the record the witness referred to. Let me see.
Ignorant
Yes,
spoon.
that would be it.
Why was Angel
Detective
yelling?
Goodman. Oh, he yelled knife!
Unessential. It's a Twitch Prime sub. Not that great, lol, might as well use it on a fellow Toronto Twitch streamer less than 3. I ended my stream early to catch this smiley face.
Twitch Prime sub is still totally valid. Thank you so much. Let me see. Yes, that would be it. Detective Goodman. What's the matter? According to this, Mr. Edgeworth, your name is on here. A bow. So it is, Your Honor. Not that prosecutor again. Hey, maybe he's behind all this. Being a prosecutor, he could hide the evidence. Mommy, is that man in blue a murderer? Shh, don't stare at him. You've got the wrong color, kid. It would seem. The inquiry committee will want to speak with you again today. I have nothing to be ashamed of regarding my actions or their consequences. For now, let us continue with the cross-examination. Poor Mr. Edgeworth. It must be so difficult for him. At the time of the crime, the detective had used his ID card. Or had used his card. I guess an ID card and a card, same thing. Whatever. Earlier I believe you testified that when you asked the man to show his ID card, he pulled a knife on you. I just heard Angel yell, "A knife!" from outside the room. Yes, sir. He didn't show me any ID card, sir! Don't you think that's odd? I mean, if he had his ID card, all he had to do was show it to you. There wouldn't be any reason to draw a knife. Maybe he just panicked! Everything stems from contradictions. Let's point them out. Mr. Wright, what do you think? I am confused. What? Problem with this ID card testimony is far too obvious. It's not like Edgeworth to miss something like this. You're thinking too hard about it. Come on, let's show them what we got. Hey, look at that. Should I present that? That's probably what I should present.
Objection!
Wait, one moment, Officer Meekins. I'm not good at waiting, sir! have the victim's ID card right here. I found it at the crime scene. That makes sense. No. When I say crime scene, I'm not referring to the evidence room at the police department. I mean the other crime scene. The underground parking lot at the prosecutor's office. Your Honor, I have one more piece of evidence to present. It's a very important clue regarding the victim's ID card. A lost item report? It's only half completed. But it shows that Detective Goodman has lost something on the day of the crime. Something important enough to fill out this report. Let me guess. You believe this something to be his ID card, right? I can't say for sure, but there's a high probability. On the day of the crime, Detective Goodman was not carrying this card. Order! Order! So now, what does this all mean? It can only mean one thing. It doesn't even require much thought. The man Officer Meekins encountered in the evidence room was not Detective Goodman, but rather the man who stole his ID card. Order! 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 Does the prosecution have a response? I have only one thing to say to the defense. Bravo, Mr. Wright. But bravo? Allow me to summarize the defense's argument. At 5:15 p.m. on the day of the crime, the man in the evidence room Officer Meekins encountered was not Detective Goodman. There are two grounds to support this. First, the locker in the evidence room was already unlocked. Second, the victim lost his ID card. Am I correct so far, Mr. Wright?
One large pepperoni pizza with anchovies.
Oh my god, I totally cannot eat that right now. Am I correct so far, Mr. Wright? I'm gonna grab a snack after this part ends. Yes. What's he up to? That being the case, we must inevitably arrive at a single conclusion. If the victim in this video is a fake, then the murderer in the evidence room is also a fake. In other words, the security camera does not show the instant of the murder. That is, well, I guess that's right. Is something wrong, Mr. Wright? Only moments ago you seemed content to be pointing your finger around. This isn't going to end well. Uh-oh. Well, well. It seems you finally realized exactly what you've gone to such lengths to prove. Explain yourself, Mr. Edgeworth. The defense has already done the explaining for me. The victim in this video is a fake, which means the murder did not take place at the police department at 5:15 on the day of the crime. So the real crime could only have taken place at one location, the underground parking lot, at the prosecutor's office, the murderer being Miss Lana Skye, the defendant. The evidence is compelling. A trustworthy witness observed the moment the defendant used the murder weapon. Ah! Fuck. I knew that testimony was way too shabby. It was all a trap from the beginning. The activity in the evidence room still leaves many questions unanswered. Who exactly was the victim Officer Meekins encountered? And where did this person disappear to? However, this trial's purpose is to examine only the murder of Detective Goodman. Just so, Your Honor. Mr. Wright, you have to do something, or else Lana... What do I do? How am I supposed to get myself out of this mess? I mean, I should probably, like, object.
Objection!
Why even give me the option? One moment, Your Honor. What now, Mr. Wright? Don't tell me you're objecting to what you've just proven. No. Of course not. But I almost walked right into the prosecution's trap. What are you talking about? This cross-examination has proven one thing, and one thing only. The security video did not show the actual murder. Man, this video. Gives me a nice break time for my voice, though, so I'm not going to complain too much. However, it cannot be said that it is unrelated to the murder in the parking lot. Specifically, large amounts of blood traces were found in the evidence room.
Unessential. Cue dramatic music.
The defense demands further examination into the truth of the matter. Mr. Edgeworth. Yes, Your Honor. If this court were to examine this further, other witnesses will be necessary. Is the prosecution prepared? I'm sorry, Your Honor. The prosecution considered the incident at the police department to be unrelated. We have not prepared any other witnesses for this incident. This just might be my chance. Time to call a certain Texas Ranger to the stand. Mr. Wright, do you mean... Your Honor? The defense would like to request a specific witness. Oh? Whom do you have in mind? Someone we have reason to believe knows the truth. The truth behind the activities that took place in the evidence room. The prosecution requests to hear this person's name before deciding whether or not to comply. Very well then, Mr. Wright. This person whom you would like to have testify, what is his or her name?
Take that!
Officer, Jake Marshall. Why him? I can't let Edgeworth know everything just yet. He's in charge of the evidence room. I feel we should hear what he has to say. The prosecution agrees to the defense's request. Since he was responsible for guarding the room, we should hear his testimony. Fortunately, he works in the police department. We shouldn't need longer than 20 minutes to prepare. Very well. The court will now take a 30-minute recess while the witness is subpoenaed. Will the prosecution please prepare the witness during this time? We will, Your Honor. Court is now in recess. Okay. There's no stopping you, is there, Mr. Wright? Huh? What do you mean? You called for Jake Marshall. It seems you figured everything out. I haven't figured anything out. Fuck. Lana? You're the one who knows everything. Emma. You always know everything. Why don't you just tell us? Mr. Wright is trying his hardest to protect you. I don't recall ever asking for his protection. How can you be so cold? Don't you trust us? Don't you trust me? Hope I'm not interrupting anything, pals. Oh, guess I am. I'll come back later. Wait! Detective Gumshoe! What is it?
Unessential.
You've got a lot of nerve, pal.
Ignorant.
Making a detective run all around while on duty. And to top it off, you call me here. I've seen happier people at funerals. Sorry, detective. You better be, pal. Hey, hey, hey! Hey, hey! I didn't see you there, Chief Prosecutor Sky. That's okay. So, have you brought what I asked? Oh. Oh ho ho! Oh ho 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 ho! Oh ho ho! Oh ho ho ho! You mean this, right? My apologies, Detective. Due to my present circumstances, I was forced to use Mr. Wright's name when making my request. My name? Never in a million years would I have thought it was you who asked me. Could I bother you to bring me the SL9 incident files? I'll need them by noon. Talk about crazy. The SL9 incident? But Lana, that's... I thought Mr. Wright might want to read them, so I had them brought here. Here, you might do well to read them. I can't believe you, the chief prosecutor, were a witness in that case. Miss Skye was a witness? Files for the Joe Dark killings, solved 2 years ago. Take it from me, you don't want anything to do with serial murderers. Oh, what? Now that I brought you your stuff, you're just gonna ignore me? Emma? But why? Why is your name in here? What? My name's in there? I don't know. Unless... No, it couldn't be. Lana? The SL9 incident, is that... That's the classification number the police filed it under. 2 years ago, the rest of the world knew it as the Joe Dark killings. Joe Dark? No, Lana! That's over with! No! Emma, wait! She ran away. You know what? I just remembered. I gotta be somewhere. Sorry, pal, but I'm out of here. Jake Marshall, Angel Star, Damon Gant, Miles Edgeworth. What the frick? Not to mention Lana and Emma? Everyone involved in this case is connected to those killings 2 years ago. This can't be just a coincidence. Knowing you, you just might be able to figure it out. Time to get back to the trial, Mr. Wright. Best of luck. I'd better take a good look at this file. To be continued. Okay, I am going to play the second part of this trial also tonight. However, I need to take a slight break, grab a snack. I'm gonna save. And then I'm gonna do this. Hello. And then I will be right back. Oh, shoot. Why isn't that working? No, my BRB animations disappeared. Can I not do that? Is it not set up on here? Fuck. No, what the hell? Okay, I'm gonna do this. I hope it's... You know what? Oh, there was a Streamlabs update. I wonder if it broke it. Motherfucker.
Ignorant spoon. Layers.
No, it's not layers. It's on top. I just need to resave it. Done? Is there music playing?
Ignorant spoon. Is it visible?
It's not showing up when I show it. You guys have sound?
Ignorant spoon. Disable enable.
I did disable enable. That's how I switched to it. You guys hear sound?
Unessential. Sound
Sounds
is fine. Ignorant spoon. Sound is there.
Fucking Streamlabs. I have like so many problems with it, just like erasing my settings. Stream break, stream BRB. Just reselect it. Yeah. Weird. I just had to open it and reselect it. Okay. I'll be right back.
Ignorant spoon. There it is. Ignorant spoon. Mute mic.
My mic was muted. If you heard things, you shouldn't have, because I don't have an input device that should be recording anything. That is really weird. I have a creamsicle, so I'm gonna eat that. Oh no, I was hoping it was a fucking red one. It's an orange one. Looked red. Okay, I'm gonna eat this, and then I'm gonna play the rest of this game. I was hoping there would be a cat
Unessential.
here.
Creamsicle.
I was gonna, like, lift the cat up and have the cat say hi, but he didn't come and sit on my seat
Ignorant
when I
spoon.
moved.
I hear everything. You were saying how much you love Jared Leto.
I'm eating a creamsicle right now, though. I don't know if it's a good idea to mix cat and creamsicle.
Ignorant spoon. Mukbang.
Not quite a mukbang. I've read that a mukbang has to be like a bunch of food. I'm so glad I fixed my fucking camera here. It was so bad before. I was like capturing it like
Unessential.
Really small resolution.
Social eating.
Yeah, social eating. Social. Man. Really wish I grabbed a raspberry one instead of the orange one.
Ignorant spoon. What's your favorite?
My favorite is the red one. Raspberry.
Ignorant spoon. Jared Leto character. Unessential. You take that back, orange creamsicle is the
yeah,
best.
okay, so what is everyone's favorite creamsicle flavor? I can
Grape
rank
Newtons.
them.
Raspberry Jared Leto. Runaway turtles.
There is no such thing as a creamsicle that isn't orange.
I have no
Unessential.
proof otherwise,
Carrot.
right? Shit, am I in the minority here?
Ignorant spoon. Ice cream. Ape bread.
Orange.
Yeah, it was a proof. Is it raspberry and blue raspberry? No, it's blueberry. You know what? I have a hard time between the raspberry and the blueberry ones because I think they're both really good.
Unessential. There's a blue one too.
Yeah. Blue. Okay. So, honestly, I think both of them are better than regular
Ignorant
orange
spoon.
creamsicle. But
Like always, yes, you are. Unessential. What? It's blueberry, not blue raspberry. That sucks.
I thought it was blue
Ape
raspberry.
bread.
It's
I had
it's actually
no
a very
idea
good
it even
flavor
came
though.
in other flavors. What is this?
Runaway turtles.
The flavor, creamsicle, is orange and vanilla.
Ignorant spoon.
Yeah, okay.
Carrot. Ape bread.
Carrot.
That's right. Like when I go and see something that says there's creamsicle on the menu, I'm expecting orange and vanilla. Just saying there's other options out there.
Runaway turtles.
Therefore,
Unessential.
Man!
Carrot.
Man, no one else agrees with me. This sucks.
Great Newtons. That entire box is branded creamsicle.
Yeah, it is.
Ape bread.
this is
This is
lies.
what I grew up with. Ugh. Almost done.
Great Newtons. I'm eating a blueberry creamsicle now. Unessential. Actually, those choco creamsicles are good too.
Oh, I don't like those. I don't like fudge and chocolate flavored popsicles.
Runaway turtles.
Is a box of creamsicles a mukbang?
Ape bread.
Oh, that is true. I recall those.
Great Newtons. My favorite creamsicle is Choco Tacos. Ignorant spoon. Marissa doesn't like anything fun. Unessential. Soup, you hate all the good flavors. Gotcha.
Guys, I like fun things. Shut up. I just have very weird tastes.
Ape bread.
Why do I watch you eat things I don't like?
I don't know.
Runaway turtles.
Like eggs, right?
Great Newtons.
I love eggs.
Paperette hate watches mukbangs.
Wait, Paperette, do you like eggs? I need to put you on my
Ignorant
list
spoon.
of people who
She
likes
likes
eggs
Pete's, Jared Leto,
and
and dolphin
who
kissing.
doesn't like eggs.
Ignorant spoon.
Those
On
are
brand.
very lies.
Paperette.
I do. I had
One of those
some
things is
earlier.
true out of 3. Okay, good. I'm glad. I'm gonna put you on the list of people who likes eggs.
Paperette.
I don't know if I agree with what Spoonies just said.
Right? Okay.
Ignorant spoon. Those are very lies. Seems like a word's thought.
Those are very lies. I couldn't come up with a better word, so I just came up with lies, because that was the most accurate word I could think of.
Unessential.
I just realized speech, or text-to-speech just broke, but, I like how you said something related oh, is it transcribing the... I didn't even realize it was transcribing, like, the text-to-speech into the subtitles. Yeah. Hold on. Sometimes it does this. Yeah, we'll come back. And it's gonna read every single message that was sent in the meantime. Shoot, what was I gonna say? There is no joke on the stick. Like I feel like I got ripped off.
Ignorant spoon.
Oh, here we go.
Read the joke on the stick. Paperette.
Now I wanna hear.
Ignorant spoon. TTS will come back. Great Newtons.
Oh, it is reading all of it.
Text-to-speech. Unessential. The text-to-speech got offended at my joke and stopped. Great Newtons. These subs are hilarious. Ignorant spoon. Get better headphones. Ignorant spoon. Razor sucks. Runaway turtles.
Ignorance to here we go.
Yeah, so I love how it can hear, like, okay. Even if I have a button on here
Unessential.
that mutes...
It totally got offended at my joke. It started reading it again after my joke. Great Newtons. This robot broken telephone is amazing.
So even when I mute my, like, physically mute these headphones, it'll still think it can hear, like, out of the headphones, and it'll transcribe it in speech to text. It's fucked up. I wish it didn't do that. I don't even have it that loud. I think there's like a crossed wire or something. I gotta RMA these, and like really soon, because I'm pretty sure my warranty is up in like a
Ignorant
week.
spoon. Razor sucks.
That's not even how you spell it, so I don't know what to tell you, man. Okay. Game casting. There we go.
Ignorant spoon. Hashtag post-Jaredal topics.
Jaredal. Okay. Okay.
Great Newtons. Jaredal the Witcher.
Hold on, I should take a sip of water. Okay, I get to do an accent now, or like a southern thing. The court will now reconvene for the trial of Miss Lanisky. Emma didn't come back. Good, one fucking less voice for me to voice then. Allow me to call the next witness to the stand. The officer in charge of guarding the evidence room on the day of the crime. He's fucking drunk. Witness, please state your name and occupation.
Ignorant spoon. You can always do a southern accent, it's never racist.
Never racist. Me, partner? Oh, I'm just a man, same as you. wander in the trails of civilization. Occasionally helping the elderly cross intersections when needed. Yes, we get it. Oh, I know, you're a patrolman. As for my name, if you listen hard enough, you can hear the howling wind calling it out. To be exact, it's Jake Marshall, Your Honor. Howling wind? I've never heard Edgeworth described that way before. Now, Mr. Marshall, let me ask you something. You were in charge of guarding the evidence room on the day the crime took place. Is this correct? According to the papers, partner. What do you mean? The Desperado's soul's boundless as the desert sands. No paper can sum it up. Maybe it's best we get on with this quickly. Please share with us your testimony the day of the crime. In plain old English. My job was to keep a wary eye on that bone orchard. They said I was supposed to make rounds 3 times a day, but that ain't my style. Besides, the room's protected by 2 security systems anyway. If I remember right, I was at a street-side saloon at the time it went down. I'm just an innocent traveling man, so if you're out of ammo, it's time I hit the trail. I can't say I particularly care for your attitude. I can't say I care for your beard, but you don't see me complaining. Wait a minute. What do you mean by 2 security systems? I mean the security cameras and the ID card reader. I reckon even a cowpoke like you knows about those. Yes, well. What about the fingerprint-activated locks on the evidence lockers? Fingerprint-activated locks? What kind of newfangled doohickeys are those? He's not being very helpful. He's not that good with machines, or with following orders. Everyone's got their weaknesses now, don't they, Mr. Prosecutor? This one seems like trouble. Okay, Mr. Wright, he's all yours. My job was to keep a wary eye on that bone orchard. How exactly did you keep an eye on the evidence room? I just made sure nothing moved in the security camera monitor. That room's so still, even time dies in there. I was just a caretaker who inherited the report. Interred the recordings. You interred them? Interred? What? Okay. Videos of nothing that aren't useful. When the time would come, I'd erase the tape. If nothing unusual is recorded, tapes are to be erased every 6 hours. Each time I'd erase tape, it felt like I was erasing part of my life. This guy has a flair for the dramatic, but it isn't going to do him any good. So, in actuality, you don't physically enter the evidence room? They said I was supposed to make rounds 3 times a day, but that ain't my style. But you made your rounds on the day of the crime, right? Ain't you heard a word I said, partner? I told you that ain't my style. Mr. Noosh, coming? Here you go. There you go.
Unessential. Kitty.
Kitty. I'm afraid I don't understand. No desperado I know lets rules get in his way. No desperados I know join the police force. So, Officer Marshall, on the day of the crime, just between you and me, I didn't set foot in the evidence room that day. There was a rubber glove stuck in the victim's locker. Do you know anything about that? Sorry, partner, can't say I do. I haven't been in that crypt in weeks. How does this guy avoid being fired? Besides, the room's protected by 2 security systems anyway. You used to be a detective, so you've used the evidence room in the past, correct? Of course. Back in the day, my locker was a gold mine of evidence. And yet, you didn't know about the fingerprint locking mechanism?
Paperette.
Cat cam.
Unessential. Did the TTS die again? Unessential.
Oh, shit.
Yuck.
I missed a bunch
Ignorant
of,
spoon.
messages.
Please give that at kisses on the face. Ignorant spoon. Cat 2. Unessential. I keep killing the TTS. Sorry, everyone. Ignorant spoon. Kiss that cat.
Sorry, partner, I ain't good with machines. I couldn't even tell you how a bike works. That's quite, incredible, frankly. Sensors on the locker handles cannot be seen. It's a well-known that some detectives are unaware of their presence. Now that he mentions it, Detective Gumshoe said something like that too. At any rate, it doesn't seem that this is relevant to the crime. Can you tell us what you were doing when the crime took place? If I remember right, I was at a street-side saloon on the time it went down. What were you doing in a place like that? I was eating spaghetti. Not even Angel's steak lunches can beat the parlor's Vongole sepia pasta. Pasta. Ah, how do I read that in that accent? Do you mean to tell us you abandoned your police duty to eat some noodles? Not at all. Not all desperados eat tacos, partner. That's not what I meant. I hope this has at least taught you a lesson. That's strange. This is usually where Edgeworth says,
Ignorant spoon.
did you not
Aren't
want to
you
raise
Italian?
this year? I am Italian. I do say pasta. No. I flip back and forth between pasta and pasta. I'm just an innocent traveling man, so if you're out of ammo, it's time to hit this trail.
Runaway
Out of
turtles.
ammo? Officer
Sorry.
Marshall? That's right, partner. As you call it, evidence. If you plan to pin me to this crime, then you'd better draw. Otherwise, you're just wasting my time. My steel horse is waiting to carry me
Ignorant
back into
spoon.
the west.
Those
Back
are
west
both wrong,
into
it's
the
faggot.
sunset. Spaghetti.
Unessential. Ha ha ha.
One thing seems clear. Despite being responsible for guarding the evidence room, the witness doesn't appear to have seen anything. Texans don't take orders from anyone. Everyone knows that. Apparently your superiors don't. Okay, I have a trump card up my sleeve, so I best keep my cool. Before I use it, though, I'd better up the ante. Don't believe you've been...
Paperette.
I can't hear the voice acting.
What? Oh, this is this is Marshall's fingerprints. Okay.
Objection!
Officer Marshall, doesn't it strike you as odd?
Paperette.
Background music is really loud today.
Unessential.
That's weird.
When I
Hold
went
on.
to GDQ a couple years ago, I got invited to a guy's house for dinner. He made spaghetti. Lots of touch on my spaghetti memeing that night. It was a blast.
That sounds great. Here, let me check my volume mixer. I think it's at 70%. Unless Streamlabs changed something and now it's different. Let's go 60 instead of 70.
Great Newtons. Somebody touch ya.
Somebody touching my spaghetti. Okay. I hope this is better. Oh, you know what? My desktop audio did get reset.
Ignorant spoon. Audio is fine here.
Oh god, I can hear Angel listening to that fucking somebody touch my spaghetti video in the background. That is, you being called in to testify like this. After all, you weren't in the security room at the time of the crime. And yet you dragged me down here. Explain yourself, partner. Oh. Are you okay, baby? This cat is very old, and sometimes he just, like, pukes out of nowhere. Seems... You okay? Oh. You have a
Ignorant
hairball?
spoon. Is that cat butter cat face? Unessential. What's Kitty's name?
His name is Mr. Minouche. He is almost 15 years old. Actually, in a few days it's his birthday.
Ignorant spoon. Mr. Pussy.
Mr. Minouche. Oh. You okay? Okay.
Ah, paperette.
Happy early birthday.
I believe it's I think it's the 12th? Oh, baby. You okay? Do you want to be on the floor instead? You want me to put you on the couch? Or you want to just stand here? Okay. It's quite simple.
Ignorant spoon.
You left a very
Feed it
large
some
trail
cactus.
behind at the scene. No, I put the cactus in a... I planted all my plants outside today, and I stuck the cactuses in the greenhouse instead. My cats were eating cacti. Like, they like putting their mouth onto it with spikes and all. Like, they didn't care. They fucking, like, rub their faces on it. It's the worst. You left a very large trail behind at the scene. Or, to be exact, a handprint. Listen real good, partner. Like I said, I'm the caretaker of that crypt. I pay my respects.
Ignorant
That is,
spoon.
make my rounds
Cats are
about
fucking
once
idiots.
a month. True. It's only natural
Ignorant
my
spoon.
fingerprints would be in there.
I have 2 idiots. Ignorant spoon. I love them.
Yeah, I love my idiot cats. I only wish it were, officer. But you see, your fingerprints were covered in blood. Witness, what's the meaning of this? Your blood-stained fingerprints were at the crime scene? Blood was wiped away. However, a luminol test clearly revealed this. Well, Officer Marshall? It seems to me there ain't a person in this room with a head on his shoulders. I take it you have an explanation then, Officer Marshall. About the blood-stained fingerprints? Very well. You may begin your testimony about your fingerprints. Found at the scene of the crime. Like I said, it's only natural for my fingerprints to be in that evidence room. One of them just happened to be at the same place as the bloodstained handprint. The murderer touched the locker where my fingerprint was by chance. That bloodstain and the fingerprint are completely unrelated. Or didn't you know the murderer was wearing gloves? How do you know that? See, I had nothing to do with it. Sorry. The witness's explanation appears valid, although there's room for doubt. Laugh wouldn't be fun without any doubt, partner. The defense may
Ignorant
now
spoon.
cross-examine the witness. This guy is hiding something. I can feel it. Now's my chance to prove it. Like I said, it's only natural that my fingerprints be in that evidence room. One of them just happened to be at the same place the blood... I should go back, hold on. I need to press this. That's because you... how'd you put it? Pay your respects? Once a month? Yeah, that's right. That and one more thing. That locker happens to be mine. What? What do you mean? I mean what I said. That's the locker I used when I was a detective. The locker I still use. All that's in there now, though, is a heap of broken dreams. I see. It'd be strange if my prints weren't all over that locker. Apparently his fingerprint data was never removed from that locker's programming. Okay, I now have a cat just sitting on my arm like this. Okay. He must have been using the fingerprint lock all this time without ever knowing it. Fingerprints updating the court record. One of them just happened to be the same place as the bloodstained handprint. So then, what about the bloody handprint? Wasn't mine. It's no mystery. Please explain. My locker is covered with my fingerprints. It just so happened. Murderer touched the locker where my fingerprint was by chance. The chances of that happening are 1,000,000 to 1. On the contrary, one could just argue the opposite. The chances of that are not happening are 1,000,000 to 1. Get one thing straight, partner. You ain't gonna get no reward from me with a mere fingerprint. You wanna know what? Blech. Bloodstain and the fingerprint are completely unrelated. Unrelated? They're as different as night and day. Kinda like cereal and cereal. Cereal with a C, and cereal with an S. One's got to do with breakfast, while the other's a type of murder. He's right. Although seemingly alike, they're totally different. I don't see what homonyms have to do with this. Or didn't you know the murderer was wearing gloves? Okay. How do you know that? I may be a loner, but I still do my job. I keep up on the reports. There was a bloodstain at the scene, thought to be left by the murderer. That's right. It was found on Detective Gumshoe's locker. However, no fingerprints were detected on that handprint. Oh yeah, I think we tried that too. So that would mean the murderer, wearing gloves, happened to place their hand on top of Officer Marshall's fingerprint. That's the only logical conclusion. Are you starting to get the picture, partner? The picture? This seal blood in the desert is just food for the buzzards. There's only one reality, and that's this. Security tape. So long as my trail isn't in there, you can't say otherwise. This isn't getting us anywhere, Mr. Wright. Please consider carefully where you're going with this cross-examination. Yes, Your Honor. Now then, continue your testimony, Officer Marshall. What do you mean by that? You want to tie me to this crime, isn't that right, partner? If so, that video is the only direct evidence you have. But that video is next to useless. It's full of blind spots. Blind spots? Places you can't see. The camera's panning back and forth. The floor isn't shown. It's a fucking mess. If someone was familiar with the camera's position, they could just leave the room without being caught on tape.
Objection!
We don't have time for your speculations, Mr. Wright. Well, Mr. Wright, if you can show us evidence in this video that indicates Officer Marshall was present, please do so now. Okay. Let's watch this fucking video again. Very well. Allow me to point out your mistake, Officer Marshall. Tread carefully, Mr. Wright, or you might wind up being the one making the mistake. That's a threat. I'm gonna save the game. Now then, let's have another look at the video. Show us this incriminating evidence of the witness, Officer Jake Marshall. There's Dick Gumshoe's personal pole over there. Right here. Long-ass video. There we fucking go. God.
Take that!
Bringing our attention back to the security camera is a mistake I'm afraid you'll soon not forget, Officer Marshall. Days are so short in Texas, and so are our tempers. Could you sum it up what you have to say in 8 words or less? Very well. You can be clearly seen... Oh, you can clearly be seen in this video. Exactly 8 words. Not bad, partner. The key lies in a certain locker shown in the video. That locker with the white cloth sticking out. That was the witnesses, I believe. Now then, let's rewind the video a bit. Let's sit through him rewinding the video in slow motion. Oh, the white cloth. It's gone. What's the meaning of this, Officer Marshall? When the crime took place, the white cloth wasn't there. Kitty. When the crime took place, the white cloth wasn't there. Then, it suddenly appeared. There's only one explanation. Officer Marshall, you were in the evidence room at the time of the crime. What's more, you opened your locker when the camera was turned away. Order, order. It would seem that's the only hold your horses. Sorry, partner, but you got the wrong man. So what if my locker was opened? That doesn't mean I'm the one who opened it. The murderer needed to hide something, so he opened a locker and stuck it in. It's not my fault he happened to choose mine. Why is everyone staring at me like I'm a wanted man? This guy isn't just plain dumb. Really doesn't know. I hate to rain on your parade, but you're the only person who can open that particular locker. Oh yeah? I call your bluff. You say I opened that locker? Now prove it. Fucking dumbass here.
Take
A fingerprint sensor? We talked about this earlier today. The lockers can only be opened by the detectives they belong to. What kind of crazy talk is this? Well, Detective Gumshoe did mention something about this. In any case, the locks aren't that obvious. There are even some people on the force that don't know about the fingerprint locks. So, Sheriff, what do you have to say? In 8 words or less. I only got 1 word for you, partner. No! Shit. You fucked up. You fucked up. You fucked up. Order, order, order. Witness. Explain yourself. If this is a joke, it's the worst I ever heard. I assure you this is no joke, Officer Marshall. Now then, please tell us what you were doing in the evidence room at the time of the crime. Ole! Please answer the question. What is he now, a bullfighter? That's alright, Officer Marshall. I believe we can figure the rest out from here. We can? Have a look at these floor plans. There is no place for someone to hide in the evidence room. Yet, Officer Meekins didn't seem Officer Marshall. If that's so, then where was the witness?
Unessential.
It seems
You were
Mr. Wright
using the
has
wrong
an
accent
answer.
the whole time. You should have done a Spanish one.
Yeah, apparently. I don't know if I can do that. They said he was from Texas. I assumed southern, like... Yeah. That's right. The only possible conclusion. Well then, let's hear it. Where was Officer Marshall at the time of the crime? Bitch! He's the victim, right? He's the yeah, because Meekins is supposed to be the killer.
Take that!
Officer Marshall was standing right here. There? But that's where the victim, Detective Goodman, was. Incorrect. Unless the man wasn't Detective Goodman. I believe the victim in the video is Officer Marshall. It was you, dressed up like Detective Goodman.
Objection!
But that's preposterous. Officer Meekins
And
witnessed
everyone
the
knows
detective at
Texas
the
is
crime
nowhere
scene.
near any Spanish-speaking places. GG.
I didn't say that. I actually don't know American geography that well. Is Texas right on the border? Between the US and Mexico? I guess it would be, right? I don't fucking know. Once he saw the man's face, he'd know for sure.
Objection!
May I point out, though, that Officer Meekins did not know Detective Goodman. He also testified about the man's reaction when confronted. When I entered the evidence room, I asked him to show his card, sir!
Ignorant spoon. Awkward.
Yeah, I'm not American. I don't need to know. Whatever. Yes, and how did Detective Goodman respond? He suddenly pulled a knife on me!
Unessential. Well, Trump wants to build a southern wall.
No, I know that Mexico is south of the US. I don't know which states border between the US and Mexico. Something about the officer's story puzzled me. If the man had had his ID card, why didn't he just show it? Yes, he would have needed it to enter the evidence room. So, he must have been carrying it. The answer is simple. He couldn't show it. Okay. As you can see, Detective Goodman's picture is on his ID card. Oh, I get it. If he showed that, his cover would have been blown. Officer Meekins would have realized the man wasn't Detective Goodman. Do you have anything to say to this, Officer Marshall? You've got quite an imagination, partner. We got a term for that. It's called circumstantial evidence. Circumstantial evidence? He's still denying it. You've gotta have to do better than that to break a detective. Unless you have hard evidence proving I dressed up as the victim. I can't say I particularly care for your uncooperative disposition. I can't say I care for your beard, but you don't see me complaining. Well, Mr. Wright, do you have any evidence proving beyond a shadow of a doubt that Officer Marshall dressed up as the victim? I mean, you could examine his locker, right? Oh, kitty.
Unessential. IIRC before whatever Americans call their confederation. There was a period of time when both Texas and New Mexico was a part of Mexico.
Interesting. I didn't know that. Okay. Well, who am I kidding? I don't have anything like that. I can see the fear in your eyes, partner. Seems you're the one who couldn't take the desert heat. Ah, this can't be happening. It's so obvious he's the one. What can I do? It looks like your lack of experience has finally been exposed. I'll pass on to you what someone told me when I was just
Ignorant
starting
spoon.
out.
It was called Grand Tex-Mex Hot Dog Burg.
I don't know about that. Hot dogs sound pretty futuristic. When you've run into a wall with no place to go, return to the basics. The basics? For me, that would be
Great
what me.
Newtons.
For me,
Living
that would be
in the
what
future, sucking on a hot dog.
living in the future, sucking on a hot dog. For me, that would be what Mia used to tell me. Phoenix, try thinking outside the box. She's a ghost. I have to whisper now. I shouldn't look for proof that Officer Marshall was in disguise. But rather, I should look for evidence that came about because he was in disguise. Why do you think this locker was opened in the first place? What do you mean? There's no reason for Officer Marshall to open his locker at the time of the crime. Yet, he did, despite the chance that it might be discovered later, as it has been. Which means he didn't originally plan to open his locker. According to the defense's argument, Officer Jake Marshall dressed up as Detective Goodman at the time of the crime. Then, after the crime was committed, he opened his own locker for some unknown reason. The fact that a white cloth is sticking out of the locker seems to indicate that he opened it in order to put the cloth inside. So, just what exactly is this piece of cloth? Perhaps the video is the key to all our unanswered questions. Are we gonna watch this fucking video again? I don't have any evidence, so this video is my only shot. Very well. Let's take yet another look at the security tape. After committing the crime, the witness opened the locker to put away the white cloth. Please show us why the witness had to open his locker.
Unessential.
For some reason,
Strange how the Blue
you
Badger music
disguised
transcends
yourself
time when you
as
fast
Detective
forward and
Goodman.
rewind the tape.
Transcends time. I didn't notice that. That's amazing. For some reason, you disguised yourself as Detective Goodman and entered the evidence room, though I don't know to what end yet. I also, you know what? There's been times when it plays the music and then sometimes when it's like totally like silent. It's really weird. Okay, and entered the evidence room, though I don't know to what end yet. However, something unexpected happened. Officer Meekins barged in on you. When asked to show your ID card, you pulled a knife on him. However, Officer Meekins panicked, and the white coat you were wearing was soiled with blood. A bloody white coat. You couldn't just walk out like that, so you hid the coat in your locker. Not bad, partner. Now then, Officer Marshall. Are you ready to tell us the truth? Looks like I underestimated y'all. I hope you're happy now, Mr. Edgeworth. 2 years ago, if you were only half as persistent then as you are today, we all wouldn't have to be here now, would we? Officer Marshall, tell the court what you did. All of it. I just realized we never fucking read... Hold on. We didn't read any of this. Fuck, I meant to read this before I started this day. Oops, okay. Incident SL9 closed. Perpetrator Joe Dark. Crime, serial murder, sentence, death. Victims. Neil Marshall. I don't know any of those other names. Okay. Head prosecutor Miles Edgeworth. Witnesses Lana and Emma. Executive investigators Damon Gant, Lana Skye. Head investigator Bruce Goodman. Investigators Jake Marshall, Angel Star. Okay. No details about what actually happened there. Alright. It seems the time has come. What, to tell the truth? Why didn't you do that to begin with? I had to do it that day. I just couldn't stand by and let it die. I stole the detective's ID and dressed like him. I planned to take out the evidence. I wasn't expecting Officer Meekins. I knocked him out. Managed to escape. I knew which areas wouldn't be caught on camera. There wasn't any murder in the evidence room at 5:15. So, the supposed victim was really you. But there's one thing I still don't understand. Traces of a large quantity of blood were found on the floor of the evidence room. If no one was murdered, then how could that be? Officer Meekins managed to cut his own hand. Cat, you're sitting in the most awkward position. Just come sit on my lap. Here we go. Look. Here we go. Yeah. Okay. Officer Meekins managed to cut his own hand. My guess is he's the donor. It was way too much blood for such a small donation. Marshall's confession. I had to do it that day. I just couldn't stand by and let it die. When you say it, you mean... Do you even have to ask, partner? The SL9 incident. 2 years have passed since that case was closed. It was going to completely end at the transferal that day. Not if I have anything to do with it. That incident's not over. But what did you hope to accomplish by sneaking into the evidence room? When a case is closed, only that case's lead detective can look through the evidence. I wanted to have a look at it myself one more time. No matter what the cost. I don't care what anyone says, partner. That case is mine. But Officer Marshall wasn't in charge of that investigation. Why does he care so much about it? That day was my last chance. That's why I stole a detective's ID and dressed like him. I plan to take out the evidence. Oh.
Hold it!
Why did you disguise yourself as Detective Goodman? If I didn't make it look like Goodman was carrying out the evidence transferal, I'd be arrested for stealing evidence, which wouldn't get me anywhere. So you did it to fool the security camera. And the detective's ID card. I stole that the morning of the incident. So that really was why Goodman started filling out that lost item report. I returned his ID card. I left it on the floor in the prosecutor's office parking lot. The ID card I found was left there by Officer Marshall. Okay. So, essentially, you managed to succeed despite your lack of foresight. What do you mean, partner? I mean, the fingerprint activated lock, of course. No matter how well you disguise yourself, you can't change your fingerprints. Under normal circumstances, you wouldn't have been able to open that locker yourself. But he could, because a rubber glove just happened to get stuck in that door. That means Detective Goodman must have opened the locker before Officer Marshall. Oops.
Hold it!
Oops. You pulled a knife on Officer Meekins and tried to drive him off? Rude. Let's just say I was a little surprised. I only planned on being in the evidence room for no more than 5 minutes. I didn't think anyone would actually come in during that short time. Officer Meekins certainly is a one-in-a-million type of person. Mistaking a detective for an intruder and demanding to be shown his ID. I'll have to think a little more about his raise this year. When did Edgeworth get so much influence? Anyway, he threw himself at me, and I ended up cutting him slightly. I'm sorry it had to turn out that way, with me knocking him out and everything. By the way, what happened to your knife? Oh, you mean this one? I don't know what to say. So you knocked Officer Meekins out, and managed to escape. I knew which areas wouldn't be caught on camera.
Hold it!
Okay, bye, kitty. Bye! So you did your research beforehand. Those who go into the desert unprepared don't live long, partner. I didn't think it would make a difference, though. Security tape is erased every 6 hours. If all had gone as planned, no footage would have been left. However, you bloodied your coat in the struggle with Officer Meekins. Ugh, cat hair. Everywhere. If someone was in the security room when I came out, the jig would have been up. I opened my locker and I stashed it in there. What was Officer Meekins doing during that time? What else? He was sleeping like a baby. So, what you're saying is, on that day, wasn't any murder in the evidence room at 5:15. But the blood found at the scene certainly indicates a crime took place. What are you, blind? The victim shown on that tape is me, and I'm not dead yet, partner. So, you stole the evidence from the locker. Actually, no, I didn't. Why not? When I opened that locker, the evidence was already gone. What? Mr. Edgeworth, where is that evidence? It's still missing, Your Honor. Shit. Detective Goodman's locker was already empty? Someone else stole the evidence? What the frick? Officer Marshall, may I ask you one thing? Fire away, partner. It's a free country. Just remember, I'm also free to decide whether or not to answer. Why did you do this? Stealing a detective's ID? Injuring a police officer? This is no small offense. Moreover, you're an officer yourself. This will have serious consequences. It can't just be forgiven with a simple cut in salary.
Ignorant spoon.
Not that salary
Check the
cuts are
badger.
ever a valid solution. Check the badger? What's that? What's that on the badger's face? I can't do anything about it now. Not that salary cuts are ever a valid solution. Like I said, this isn't your case. This one is mine. And I'll do anything it takes to get an answer I'm satisfied with. Witness has
Ignorant
an unusual
spoon.
amount of zeal.
It's a bitch slap.
Let's hear more. This is a bitch slap. I
Ignorant
can't just
spoon.
forget the SL9
'Cause that
incident.
badger is
You
a
know why?
Hold it!
But that case was solved 2 years ago, wasn't it? That's the reason evidence... Oh, fuck. Wrong voice. Wow. That's the reason the evidence was stored in the evidence room. Joe Dark was convicted for his crimes. One thing I can say for sure is he deserved his sentence. I remember the Joe Dark case. It involved serial murders, didn't it? I don't intend to complain about how it turned out, but there's something that still bothers me. Something went down at that trial. Something no one will talk about. What happened? I don't know. That's what I'm trying to find out. Why is he so concerned with that incident? Maybe I should present him with what I think his real reason is?
Ignorant spoon.
I had a
Did
feeling
you say
we'd wind
Joe
up here
Dirt?
sooner or later. I didn't say Joe Dirt. Did it transcribe as Joe Dirt?
Unessential. I'm heading to bed. Good night,
Good
Boyo.
night! Thank you for watching! I think this case is almost over. Or I think this day is almost over. I think we're probably...
Ape bread.
Nights.
Runaway turtles.
I had a feeling we'd wind up
Nice.
here sooner or later. Everyone involved here is related in some way to that case. I'd better take another look at the files. Okay, I already looked at the files and I saw his, like... Okay. Yes, I do know why, so... I was given this specifically to present it for this. Officer Marshall, I think I understand. I think I know why you care so much about the SL9 incident. Sounds like you've been sipping too much cactus juice, partner. I have the SL9 incident file here. The name, Marshall, is mentioned in here. In a list of murder victims. Neil Marshall. Are you related to this man? Neil Marshall? Yeah, I'm sure you've heard the name. 2 years ago. He received the same lousy prosecutor award you got. What? A prosecutor? You must be talking about the King of Prosecutors Award. Now I remember. Prosecutor Neil Marshall. He handled the SL9 case before I did. That's right. He was killed. And the case fell into your hands. But what's his relation to you? He was my brother. He was investigating the murders with Damon Gann, the then Deputy Chief of Police. The group of detectives I was part of worked under them. We were desperate to prosecute the killer. Joe Dark. My brother fought Dark and was killed. That was the first time Dark left behind any evidence. That was all we needed. He was arranged and... Is that arranged? Okay. He was arranged and incarcerated. The case was finally closed. At least according to the public records. What do you mean? My brother couldn't have been killed by Joe
Runaway
Dark.
turtles.
Arraigned.
Arraigned. My brother couldn't have been killed by Joe Dark. I knew my brother better than anyone. No one could have beaten him in a fight. And that's it? That's your reason for your insane actions? There's more to my brother's death than what the records say. No matter how much you try to hide it, you can't fool me. Well, at least one thing's for certain. Now we know what happened at the police department on the day of the crime. That was the last day the SL9 case could be reopened. Not satisfied with this resolution, Officer Marshall planned to steal the evidence. Disguising himself as Detective Goodman, he entered the evidence room. Officer Meekins confronted him, so he rendered him unconscious and fled. Yes, this mystery has finally been cleared up. No murder took place at the police department that day. Things that happen by chance never cease to amaze. At exactly the same time as the murder at the prosecutor's office, this fake murder was going on at the police department. Chance? It's gotta be more than just that. So if no one was murdered at the police department on the day of the crime, that means the murder in the prosecutor's office parking lot was the real one. Which, in turn, means only one person could have committed the crime. Chief Prosecutor Lana Skye.
Objection!
But wait! A verdict wasn't reached in yesterday's trial.
Objection!
Which is why we examined the incident at the police department today. But there's only one reason the defendant was not convicted yesterday. There yet remained the mystery of the simultaneous murder at the police department. It seems to me this boy's got the draw on you, partner. All of the mysteries at the police department have been resolved, no doubt about it. Our sole murder took place at the prosecutor's office. The only suspect is Lana Skye. The testimony of one Miss Angel Starr is completely incontestable. If you have a response, make it a single word or less. Ah! I rest my case. It seems this trial has reached its conclusion. There is no room for doubt. Well done, Mr. Wright. Thanks to you, I didn't need to waste my time. Disproving the alleged murder at the police department. There's no doubt what I proved today is true. The apparent murder on the security camera's tape really was fake. But I didn't realize that would end up proving Lana guilty. Now then, the time for the verdict has arrived. This court finds the defendant. Hold it! Your Honor! Wait! God. Emma! The defense has an objection. A scientific objection. Right? What do you mean, right? Mr. Wright. Are you this girl's guardian? Your Honor? Oh, in a sense. Please, Your Honor, all I'm asking for is a minute of your time. Please hear me out. Mr. Edgeworth, please. I don't want to leave any loose ends. You want a minute. I'll give you 3.
Ignorant spoon. Is she a persona? Ignorant spoon.
I was kind of in
She has
shock.
glasses.
I mean, finding out the SL9 incident referred to the Joe Dark killings? Now she mentions it. The names of both Skye sisters were in that file. But that's when I figured it out. I mean, what Officer Marshall was trying to do that day. So I knew his fingerprint had nothing to do with the crime. That left only one thing. The other handprint. You mean the traces of blood found on Detective Gumshoe's locker? But no fingerprints were found on it, right? No, but I figured if I examined it scientifically, I'd be sure to find a clue. So, I ran over there and looked at it again. So, did you find something? No. Huh? Sorry. I guess I'm not much of a scientific investigator after all. Is that all? Please don't be mad. I'm just a high school student. I'm just an attorney. But Mr. Wright, those traces of blood are the only clue we have. If we can't find something wrong with them... Please, Mr. Wright, you're a professional. If anyone can save Lana, it's you. Me? Oh boy. Time's up. Now then, Mr. Wright. With regard to the incident at the police department, does any reasonable doubt remain? It appears the defense is troubled by the other blood mark. Looking at the floor plans, a handprint was discovered around here. Is there a problem with this? Mr. Wright, I'm sorry I can't be of more use. But still, if you can't find anything wrong with that blood mark, Lana will be... Please answer my question, Mr. Wright. We don't have all day. Yes, Your Honor. If ever I've needed to concentrate, it's now. What could be wrong with that handprint on Detective Gumshoe's locker? Could there be something I'm missing? Sure.
Objection!
This handprint left at the crime scene clearly shows a contradiction. The only thing that seems clear is what you're grasping, Mr. Wright. You've been staring pretty intently at those floor plans. Tell me, is there a problem with them? Yes, this is strange. Take a good look at these floor plans. Something is missing. Missing? You mean something hasn't been drawn on there? Yes. Yes, something that, when drawn, will completely change the meaning of the blood mark. Let us pray the defense isn't simply trying to buy time. Very well, Mr. Wright. With all this evidence here, there's gotta be something I can use. The question is, which item can prove something is missing in the floor plans? Oh, it's that bitch-ass fucking badger. Hold on. Bitch-ass badger.
Ignorant spoon. Draw feathers, it makes a turkey.
What about that piece of plywood? Blue badger. Mascot of the police force.
Ignorant spoon.
Defender of truth.
Thanksgiving is
Guardian
the murderer.
of proof. Explain yourself, Mr. Wright. Please look at the floor plans of this crime scene. The blue badger is not here. So watch what happens when we put him in. This is where he was dancing at the time of the crime. Well, what? That's right. So long as the blue badger is dancing here, it would be impossible to place a handprint at the spot on the locker. What? So that means, just exactly what does that mean? It means it can't be done. What are you saying? Blood traces were undeniably found on that locker. Don't look at me, I didn't put it there. Mr. Wright, think it through scientifically. Emma. On that afternoon, Officer Meekins was the one who brought the blue badger to the evidence room, right? After he put it down, it would be impossible to leave a handprint on that locker. So that must mean this blood mark was left there before the blue badger was brought in. Just one moment. I will not allow such a far-fetched balderdash in my courtroom. It may sound far-fetched, Your Honor, but it's the only possible explanation. On February 21st, in the police department's evidence room, blood was spilled not once, but twice. But how? One time was captured on this tape, taken by a security camera. Officer Meekins cut his hand, from which a trivial amount of blood fell. The problem is, the other time. Oh, I love this video. Someone bled prior to the struggle shown on this tape. It had to have been. It had to have been Detective Goodman when he was really murdered.
Objection!
That's ridiculous. I refuse to accept your absurd claim.
Objection!
The murder portrayed in the security tape has been proven to be a fake. However, that does not explain the blood mark found on the locker.
Objection!
So then, assuming this murder you purport really happened, when did it take place? I demand you show evidence that proves when it occurred. When did the first incident occur? To summarize, the defense claims that prior to Officer Meekins being cut by Jake Marshall, who was posing as Detective Goodman, another incident took place in that evidence room. That's right. The blood mark on the locker proves this. Very well. Then tell us, when did this first incident occur? As Mr. Edgeworth said, proof must be presented. Proof that shows when the murder took place. There's only one piece of evidence that can show that. Now then, will the defense please present its evidence? What shows when the first time took place? First crime took place. Around 4:20 p.m. Shit. If the crime took place inside the evidence room, then the killer would have had to enter it. And in order to do so, an ID card would have been required. An ID card. Oh, the ID card record. Officer Meekins brought the Blue Badger panel into the evidence room at, let's see here, 4:50 p.m. If the crime took place before that time, then it would be 4:40 p.m. Miles Edgeworth, just what have you done? I never would have figured you had the nerve, boy. Drop the act, witness. It doesn't take a lot of thought to figure out it couldn't have been me. Nope, I ain't getting it. I'm afraid I don't understand either. It's clear from the luminol test that blood was there. However, when the second crime took place, both Officer Meekins and Officer Marshall failed to notice the blood. That means the blood from the first crime was wiped away by the real murderer. I would have just 10 minutes to murder the victim, carry his body away, and clean up the blood. Unfortunately, that's physically impossible. That would mean the crime must have taken place before Mr. Edgeworth entered the evidence room. Let's look at the chart again. There's only one other card number remaining, 7777777. Talk about a lucky number. Oh wait, that doesn't make sense. How could Detective Goodman have entered the evidence room? Since there's no record of his card being used beforehand, he must have entered along with the real murderer. That's the only plausible explanation. He went in with 7777777. Mr. Edgeworth, please look into this ASAP. Find out whose ID number is 777777777777. That's one 7 too many, Your Honor. Unfortunately, I'm unable to look up the owner of that ID card. At least, at present. What? Explain yourself, son. The ID number 7777777 belongs to someone with a rank of captain or higher. Someone who is a so-called executive officer. We don't have the authority to inquire into such a person's identity.
Objection!
But that's ridiculous! Just how... I'm not finished talking, Mr. Wright. There is one situation in which we can be granted such authority. If an official charge filed against an executive is accepted. An official charge? You're all alike, aren't you? With your cover-ups and your forgeries. That's how the prosecutor's office operates.
Objection!
I take pride in my work, Officer Marshall. I would appreciate it if you would keep your slander to yourself. Slander, is it? Okay. Let me ask a question. Yes? No, not to you. To her, the defendant sitting over there. Your own little executive. But Lana?
Objection!
Don't be stupid. She's been charged with murder. Of course we've looked up her ID number. And it's not 7777777. Don't play me for a fool, partner. That's not what I want to ask. All I want to know is one thing. About that incident. The SL9 incident? Answer me this, Chief Prosecutor. In that trial 2 years ago, did you really only use legitimate evidence? Do you need the witness to repeat his question, Chief Prosecutor? I heard him fine, Mr. Edgeworth. 2 years ago, I was in charge of the prosecution for that trial. At the time, occasionally, we felt the powerlessness of the law. At least, I did. Lana? I became a prosecutor in order to suppress crime with the law. But before I realized it, we were the ones being suppressed by the law. Defendant, just what are you saying? I'll ask you again, Chief Prosecutor. During that trial 2 years ago, did you really present all the evidence in court? Can you look me, an investigator in that crime, in the eye and tell me that you did? Chief Prosecutor, you didn't! I don't have to, Officer Marshall. Why won't you answer him? Drastic crimes require drastic measures. That's just the way it is. We did what we had to, in order for him to get the verdict he deserved. But Lana! Even if it involved forging evidence. Damn. See, that's what I'm talking about. No. No! Order, 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 order! Lana's remarks caused such a stir. The chaos in the courtroom could not be quelled. The conclusion of the trial would have to wait until the following day. Okay. Save your progress, yes. Ooh. Okay, cool. That is it for today. Here, let me switch to this. Okay. That's it for today. I'll be back on with Ace Attorney on Wednesday at 11 p.m. Tomorrow at 11, I'm going to be playing Tetris Effect. And as usual, I'll be playing Cuphead at 5 p.m. all this week. You can check out my schedule on Twitter or my Discord or whatever, Instagram, all the social media. Yeah. Thanks for watching, everyone. I'll see you later. Bye.